Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sheila. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make the most requested for skirt on my page, and that's the micro mesh skirt. That's what I chose to name it. This is because its mesh pattern is really tiny, and it's one of those skirts that's well fitted when you make it according to the measurements you get from the measuring tape. And I've sold several of these to so many people, and I've done it in different colors. And in today's video, I'll be doing a demonstration of how to achieve that same exact look. This is because the pattern is a repeat of just about 3 rows, so I won't be wasting time showing you every step of how to make a very huge sample. We shall be making a small sample, but you will follow along with me on how to take your measurements, and you'll be able to achieve this skirt perfectly well. So let's get into the video. So for today's materials, you'll need any medium weight yarn. I'll be using Robin 100% acrylic, and I'll be using a double strand. And then you'll need a 4mm crochet hook. Then you'll also need a 3.5mm crochet hook and a measuring tape. This is all you'll need for this video. So let's get started. You're going to start off with measuring your hip size, the widest part of your hips. So I usually make 40 for a size medium. That's what I usually consider, but since this is a very small sample, I'll be considering a measurement of 10 inches. This is what I'm going to be considering. So go ahead and measure the widest part of your hips, and that's the measurement that we are going to be considering. So you're going to grab your 3.5mm crochet hook and also grab your yarn. So I told you I'll be using a double strand, and we are going to start off with a chain of 2 inches. So make a slip knot and make a chain of 2 inches. So right now we are working on the waistband. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this is around 2.5 inches. 10 chains. So that's what I'll be considering. So after your 10 chains, you're going to chain up 1 and go into the second chain from the hook and place a single crochet. So continue to single crochet all the way down. You'll have a total of 10 single crochets. So we're coming to the end of the very first row of the waistband, and these are 10 single crochets. And then we're going to row 2, and for row 2 you'll chain up 1, and this doesn't count as a stitch. Turn your work and go into the back loop of every stitch with a single crochet. So you see this V, they're like small V's. You'll go into the back loop only and place a single crochet, and continue to make 1 single crochet, back loop only. This will create a ribbed effect on our waistband. So you're going to go all the way across with that, and we are going to keep repeating row 2 until we get the measurement that we got at the beginning of the video, the widest part of your hips. So for me, I told you I'll be considering a measurement of 10 inches. So right now I'm in the very last single crochet, and I've placed my single crochet back loop only, so you can see those ridges that it's creating. So after this, you'll chain up 1 and repeat row 2. So after a chain of 1, you'll go into the back loop only with a single crochet and continue to do that back and forth until you get the measurement that you got at the beginning. So if you had 40 inches on your widest part of your hips, you'll do this until you get a total of 40 inches when this work is stretched. Note that when stretched, because this is going to be a bit stretchy. So when you stretch it like this to this side, it should be able to give you your widest part of your hip measurement. So let me go ahead and do mine until I get my total measurement of 10 inches. Okay, so here we are back, and this is what I did, and it can stretch to the measurement that I wanted, which was 10 inches. So when I put it like this, I can stretch it to exactly 10 inches. You can see that. So when not stretched, it's around 9 or 8.5 inches. So once you can achieve a stretched version to your hip size, then we are going to join up this into a circle so that we can start working in rounds. So you're going to chain up 1 and turn your work, and we are going to go into the back loop just like we've been doing, and then grab the stitch on this other side, the very first stitch, and make a single crochet or a slip stitch. So I'll be using a slip stitch for this. So back loop and then the next stitch, because you should have the unequal number of stitches, because we had a total of 10 stitches in the beginning. That means we are joining 10 stitches to 10 stitches on the other side, so that we create a loop for our skirt. And then after that, we are going to be working in rounds. So I'm going all the way down with slip stitches. Like that, and this is my very last one, and I'm going to join it to the last stitch on this side with a slip stitch. So this is how my work will look like on the inside part, and then on the outside it will be looking like this. So so I'm going to turn my work to the right side. This is the wrong side where the slip stitches were, and this is the right side. This is the strand that we started with, and this is our working yarn. You're going to ignore this. We're not going to work with it. We shall weave it in later, and we're going to grab our working yarn, and you're going to chain up 1. So we're going to go all the way around with single crochets, but then we're going to do 1 stitch in one row and then 2 stitches in the next. So let's assume this is our very first row, this one. So the first row will get 1 single crochet, but the next row will get 2 single crochets. The next row will get 1 single crochet, the next row will get 2. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next row and 2 single crochets in the next row. Make sure you're not skipping any rows. So 1 2 1 2, that's the repeat for this round until the end, and I'll get back to you guys when I have mine complete. I've come to the end of my round, and I've ended with 2 single crochets in the very last row. So I'll go into the very first single crochet that I made with a slip stitch, and that marks the end of our very first round. So for round 2, this is when we are going to introduce the mesh pattern. So you're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, and into the third you're going to make a single crochet, chain 3, skip 2, and into the third, single crochet. So you can see the mesh is very small, but don't worry about that. Chain 3, skip 2 stitches, and in the third place a single crochet. And that's the repeat for round 2. Do that all the way around until the end of the round, and I'll show you what to do for the next row. We're coming to the end of the row, and you can see I have 2 stitches left. I'll chain up 3, skip those 2 stitches, and I'll go into this space where this very first chain came out of. I'll go in there with a slip stitch like that, and that marks the end of round 2, or the very first round of the mesh pattern. And after this you're going to chain up 1, turn your work, slip stitch 2 times in that next chain 3, chain 1, single crochet in the same space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3. So we're doing that same exact thing, chain 3, single crochet all the way around. So we're going into the spaces, not into the stitches. So chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, so we are doing that until the end of round 3. And now I'm at the end, and I'm going to chain 3 and slip stitch in the very first single crochet of the row. So this is our very first single crochet of the row. You're going to go into it and slip stitch like that, and then you're going to chain up 1 and do the same exact thing for the previous row, the same exact thing we did for the previous row. So chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch 2 times in that next loop, chain 1, single crochet in that same loop. This just helps us get to the middle of the loop, and then chain 3, single crochet in the next loop, chain 3, single crochet in the next loop, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. So you're going to repeat that until you have a total of 10 rows of this mesh pattern. This is the micro mesh at the top of the skirt, and then after your 10 rows I'll show you what to do from there. So right now we're done with our 10th round, and I'm done with my slip stitch here, and we're going to be introducing a new hook. We're going to be putting this aside. Before we were using a 3.5mm crochet hook, so right now we're going to be introducing a 4mm crochet hook. So get your hook. So using your 4mm crochet hook, we're going to chain up 1, turn our work, and we're going to repeat that same exact process that we were doing. 2 slip stitches, chain 1, single crochet. So I've done some rows of the mesh using my 4mm crochet hook, and the only difference is from round 11 of the mesh pattern up to the length that you need for your skirt, you'll be using a 4mm crochet hook. You'll drop the 3.5mm crochet hook at the point of round 10, and then you'll introduce the 4mm crochet hook, and this will give you bigger spaces and a better stretch. So this is up immediately after the waistband. This is still a bit small, and then you introduce a bigger hook. So if you have wider hips, you may consider switching to a 4.5mm crochet hook, but other than that, everything remains the same. We chain 3, single crochet. We do the same exact rows all the way around. The only difference is the change in the hook size. So you're going to go all the way around until you get the length of the skirt that you want, and then I'll show you how to wind up your skirt. So I've done some more rows with the 4mm crochet hook, and once you get the length that you want, you're going to drop this hook and go back to your 3.5, because right now your skirt will be a bit wider at the base, and you'll do around 5 more rows of the mesh pattern with your 3.5mm crochet hook. So let me go ahead and do one, but you're going to do a total of around 5 rows so that your skirt can come in a bit, and then I'll show you how to wind up. So at this point I've done some 2 rows with my 3.5mm crochet hook, and right now if you have the size that you need, if it's not very loose, this is okay for you. But if it's still a bit loose, you're going to chain up 1 and turn your work, and this will be a very final row. You'll slip stitch in that space, chain 1, single crochet in that same space, and then chain 1. This time round we are going to do chain 1, single crochet in the next space. We want our skirt to come in and hold below our butt, so that the skirt doesn't keep pulling up so much. So chain 1, single crochet in the next space, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and this is the repeat for the very last row. This helps us tighten the lower part of the skirt so that it doesn't keep moving up while someone is walking in it. So you go all the way around doing that, because of course the measurement of your hips is way wider than the part of your legs where the skirt is going to stop. So after this, you're going to chain up 1 and slip stitch in the very first single crochet that you made. The very first single crochet that you made, and then chain up 1, and you're going to cut your yarn. So this will mark the end of your skirt, and you can see this right now. It's looking weird because this was a sample, but this is how. Let me first explain. This will be the waistband, then these 10 rows will be the rows that are after the waistband, before your hips really become wide. And then I did a few rows with my 4mm crochet hook, but you will do as many rows as you need to cover up your butt area, and then go down a bit to your thighs, almost towards the knees. So for me, since this is a demonstration, I did just a few rounds to show you what to do. So you'll switch to your bigger hook, and then towards the end you'll switch to your smaller hook so that your work can start coming in. You can see that effect here at this point. This was the 3.5 and then this was the 4mm crochet hook. You can see it became a bit wider here. So if I had gone on with my 4mm crochet hook with for some more rounds, you would have seen that effect happening here. Then before you finish, you reintroduce your 3.5mm crochet hook and do the same exact thing. That will bring in the skirt a bit, and then you do the final row that holds the skirt in place. So that's how to achieve this skirt. I hope you liked this tutorial, guys. I'm sorry if you wanted me to do the full version, but I really didn't find the need to do that because it was a repeat of almost the same exact row. So I just decided to do a demonstration for you guys. So thank you for watching, and thanks for all the love and support. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. Have a good day. Bye.